Excited to travel but concerned that your GI tract won't be a good travel companion? Here are my best tips of food choices to make to ensure your GI tract travels well. Tip number one, before you go, research the cuisine of the country. If you don't speak the language and you're unfamiliar with ingredients, you may be very surprised by what arrives at your table. So avoid that mistake. Look ahead of time at the foods that you want to try. What are the most popular dishes? And what are the ingredients that you want to avoid? Write these down, put them in your language and the language of the country you'll be visiting. This is especially important for people with food allergies. This will help you communicate with your waiter so that they can guide you through the menu and avoid things that will not go well with your stomach. Tip number two, choose some comfort ingredients. People often feel compelled to try a national dish, even when it has something in it that they would never want to eat. If you don't love mushrooms at home, you're not going to grow to like them abroad. So stick to your comfort ingredients. There's many popular dishes in any cuisine, so choose those that stay within your comfort zone. You'll still be enjoying the cuisine of that country without forcing yourself into uncomfortable areas. Tip number three, avoid the temptation to overeat. And this can be so hard because there's so many new exciting foods to eat. But when we overfill our stomach, it makes the lower esophageal sphincter relax, which permits food content of the stomach to reflux back up into the esophagus, which causes GERD. That's that uncomfortable feeling of heartburn, regurgitation, and it'll keep you up all night and just ruin your next day of travel. So avoid the temptation of overeating. One way to not overeat is to drink in moderation. Bitter cocktails that are popular throughout the Mediterranean are traditionally thought of a way to whet the appetite. But research has shown that bitter taste can actually promote a sense of being full. And so a bitter cocktail to start a special meal can be a good way to prevent yourself from overeating. Tip number four, take a break from eating out. This can be a fun way to experience the city as a real local, going to their grocery store, seeing their selection of foods and brands. This tip requires that you stay somewhere that has a kitchen or meet someone who has one. You get a home cooked meal in a foreign country, and your GI tract gets a rest from the rich foods typically served at a restaurant. Tip number five, minimize overly rich or spicy foods. Garlic stimulates bowel motility, which can cause diarrhea. Butter-based sauces kick the gallbladder into overdrive, which can trigger an episode of gallbladder pain. Capsaicin is the compound that makes food spicy, and it also makes the esophagus more sensitive to reflux, and this is the reason that spicy food makes GERD worse. If you want to have a spicier, richer meal, try it at lunch, when restaurants will often serve a smaller portion, which minimizes indigestion. Afterwards, your afternoon activities will keep you moving, which helps move food forward through your digestive tract. You'll also have ample time to digest food before bed when reflux is worse because you're laying down. You may also want to take a PPI ahead of a spicy meal. And for more information on how to take a PPI correctly, please see our separate video. Tip number six, try to maintain your daily food routine on the road. If you eat fruit every morning at home, continue while you're traveling. If you miss that fruit fiber, it may make you constipated. If you typically don't eat much meat, then when you're traveling is not the time to begin. Rich proteins tend to make the GI tract move slower, causing GERD and constipation. If you always eat a heavy lunch and a light dinner, try to maintain that when traveling. It won't be possible to keep the exact same foods and times of eating, but if you can maintain a similar mix of proteins, sugars, and fats, then it'll help your digestive tract keep on the same rhythm. I hope you found these GI travel tips helpful, and they may become tips that you even want to incorporate at home. Subscribe to the channel for more content on how to keep your GI tract on track when you're on the road.